Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to our witnesses. Ms. Tartak, we're all sorry, I think, to hear, would hope everyone, that how you've been silenced and threatened on the Yale University campus. What do you think college administrators who are committed to combating anti-Semitism, what should they do to protect Jewish students on campus?
Sure. So first of all, I think that they have options. I think what they say matters, and when they make condemnations of anti-Semitism that are just full of what I'll call all-sidesism, that cannot simply focus on anti-Jewish hatred and have to bring in, quote, all forms of bigotry, they're making a huge mistake. I think that they can also de-recognize and defund student groups that promote violence and that support terrorist organizations recognized by the United States government. I'll give you an example. I also gave one in my testimony, but another because there are so many. National Students for Justice in Palestine on their Instagram commemorates somebody who planned multiple suicide bombings in one of the intifadas in Israel. There's a commemoratory post to mourn this person's death. So maybe SJP chapters that repost something like that, of course within the boundaries of the First Amendment nitty-gritty, of which I'm not an expert, but maybe they could experience some sort of scrutiny, if not consequences.
Well said. This equivalency where you have to lump everyone in together instead of speaking specifically to the issue at hand of anti-Semitism. Even this White House, as soon as you mention anti-Semitism, moves to Islamophobia. And then specifically, the colleges don't have to sanction or subsidize or condone these groups that are obviously hate groups and anti-Semitic groups. What would you estimate the ratio to be of students on campus that would be pro-Israel versus pro-Hamas?
Ooh, well, it depends on the college campus, which is relevant.
But how about at Yale?
Sure. So at Yale, I would say pro-Hamas, as in would show up to a rally shouting something along the lines of, or quote, verbatim, resistance is justified. 20% of the student body. 20%? Sure. Because
wow. How about the professors?
Ooh, also a good question. It also depends on the department. But a good example was this event that I went to called Gaza Under Siege, where the panelists presented Hamas as a resistance movement. And that was co-sponsored by 5 or so university departments, as in majors. The Religious Studies Department, the Women's Gender and Sexuality Department, Ethnicity, Race, and Migration, our Center for Middle East Studies. So I think administrative backing says a lot and maybe answers your question.
That is incredible that you would estimate that perhaps 20% of Yale students might show up to a pro-Hamas rally, a true pro-Hamas rally. And, you know, one has to wonder what happens on our college campuses. And in light of, and I keep bringing it back to this, and I'll do it once again, in light of the border invasion facilitated by this administration, and the individuals who are in our country now, aided by this administration, when this happens here, what we saw play out on October 7 in Israel, when this happens here, it'll be interesting to see how on our own college campuses the response is. And these professors that are in many cases subsidized by tax dollars, not specifically at Yale in terms of it being a private university. Mr. Marcus, to you, if I may, just pivot. Should universities like Yale be able to hide behind the First Amendment, or should there be consequences when we see this kind of this anti-Semitism played out, or this expression played out on college campuses?
Congressman Good, the problem isn't just that there are students who are saying the wrong thing, but universities that are doing the wrong thing, and we need to start with the grown-ups. They need to begin by saying we will do no harm. They need to look at their DEI programs. They need to look at their curriculum. They need to look at programs like Middle East Studies programs with a one-sided anti-Israel propaganda that is simply fueling the problem on campus.
Yeah. Are you concerned about, you know, we know there's billions of dollars flowing to college campuses from countries such as Qatar, China, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, countries that don't hold the same values that we do, and it's even there was a study by the by the Anti-Defamation League, it's a report that showed how money from Iran is actually being funneled to universities that support anti-Semitism. Are you concerned about the impact that these foreign influences on our college campuses might be having on the spread of anti-Semitism?
I am, sir, but I want to say respectfully that a lot of the money going to it is our own money from the U.S. taxpayer. So a lot of it is either federal money, or it's state money, or it's student activities fees. But yes, it is also true that foreign money is coming in and having questionable influence.
Thank you.